Out of the 30 teams in the NBA, 16 will make the playoffs and only 4 will enter the conference finals. Last year, we saw a massacre with the Nuggets utterly destroying the Lakers. Some might even question how the Lakers made it. But this to me was a signal that the West, for all of its praise, might have a few soft spots. And I think the Pelicans might slide right in the pocket on this one. Let's talk about it. Time of recording this, the Pelicans sit in the 7th spot with a 22-15 record. I think this is almost exactly where they pictured themselves being at this point in the season. A lot has been said about Zion, their star player, mostly about his health and his willingness to make sure he does the stuff he needs to off the court to be ready on the court. And I don't want to speculate too heavy in this video, because I think Zion does enough to at least support my theory. In fact, he's the basis for why I say don't let the record fool you. Consider that the man has played a total of 114 out of 246 regular season games over the last 3 seasons. I predicted he would have his healthiest year this year, and it looks to be shaping up that way. No pun intended. When healthy, we all know the words. The man is a tank, a beast, a bull in a china shop. All agree, but due to his limited availability, I see the Pelicans are taking beautiful precautions with him. They split his minutes up nicely so that outside of close games in the 4th, he never really plays more than 6-minute stretches. Even if it's for a quick 1-minute pull, the Pelicans will bench him and let him recoup and then send him back out with fresh legs. I love that they're understanding their player in his 4th year. The amount of energy he expends is simply massive. So now they're seeing what they can get from him in spurts. I expect at a later time this will turn into 8-minute stretches, but no need to rush things along. And that's why I predict them to be a middle of the pack team. This minute restriction is good, but has downfalls. Zion doesn't play every game, and when he does, there are crucial minutes he sits the bench. But that is also key, because when he does sit, the Pelicans become a different team. And that's what I want to talk about. Defense wins championships. This is an old saying, I know, and most people don't even believe it anymore. But the last 5 seasons, the teams that go on to win the NBA championship have all been in the top 15 defensive teams in terms of defensive efficiency for that season. Every team was actually top 11 except the Nuggets last season, who sat at number 15. Which is a story for another day. And the Pelicans are sitting comfy in the 6th spot this season. Not the best, but they do have a switch they can turn on. Not only do they have great individual defenders, but awesome team defenders. When Zion goes to the bench, they load the court with enough defense to scare the best teams. Jose Alvarado, or Grand Theft Alvarado at the point, Herb Jones at the forward, and Najee Marshall at the other forward spot. Combo them with the scoring of Ingram and any 5th player, and the table is set. Full court press and length all over the court. That means either your bench players will get ran over, or your star players will fatigue quickly. I would love to see the Pelicans in the best of 7, where they can scheme to stop the other team's best players. They have matchups all over, and where they are weak in the center spot, they picked up Cody Zeller. Now, if you don't watch the Pels, you probably did not even notice the guy, as he only plays about 9 minutes a game. That's okay, because he really is just there to be 7 feet and have 5 fouls when they see Jokic in the playoffs. Don't forget, Zeller was a part of the 2022-2023 Miami Heat Eastern Conference champion run, and went up against Joker in the finals. Never forget, the NBA is chess and not checkers. Zeller was a major piece for the championship roster, and the Pels are thinking deep playoff run with their roster. Scoring is the new league. As much as I can hail defense wins games, I would be lying if I said that's all it takes. Offense runs the league no matter the era. and the Pels have it in spades. Let's run the list. 3 20-point per game scorers, check. 2 of those shooting over 50% from the field, and the one that's not is shooting 46% from the field and 45% from 3, check. Starting lineup averaging 90 points per game, check. Leading scorer shooting over 80% from the free throw line to close out close games, check. Top 3 scorers also averaging the most assists, check. This all adds up to be a very potent offense. The Pels are unique in that while Zion is the big name, the offense does not center around him for a majority of the game. In fact, very often the Pels start the game simply exploiting mismatches and going with whoever gets hot first. So if Valanciunas has a smaller big, that's the game they go right to the post, and they might score about 20 that night. If Ingram has the matchup, then it will be him and Valanciunas and pick and rolls to set things off, and Ingram goes to work in the mid-range. CJ usually scores in the flow of the offense and quick hits on fast breaks, which allows the Pels to avoid having to run exclusive plays to get him rolling. By the time Zion takes his first shot, he usually has a couple of assists from playing the decoy attacker. They will have Zion catch at the top of the key, attack, and kick the shooters or dump it to Valanciunas for an easy bucket. And not surprising to me that the Pelicans love passing for a bucket. I think they still have ego moments, and as they play together more, that will work itself out, but for the moment, they're working it as best as a team that really is getting used to each other could. I also don't want to discount their bench. They don't have a ton of scoring, but I do want to shout out Trey Murphy III, currently averaging 13.6 points per game and shooting the 3 at 41%. I noticed this guy 3 seasons ago and marked my calendar after he got injured last season, because I know he will become a guy in the near future. Right now, he brings scoring and stretches the floor for Zion, and that's huge for a player that attacks the basket on 98% of his possessions. In fact, we see LeBron in bad need of a pure shooter. So Murphy and Zion have a legacy to build, and I suspect we'll see them tear things up in a couple playoff games. Mark my words. All in all, I just love the way the Pelicans constructed this roster. I know they don't get the most TV time, but I think the league is missing this one. They're actually a joy to watch. If you have the league pass, I suggest catching at least a half here and there, because their brand of basketball is not shoot as many threes as we can and hope they drop. They actually have scorers from every spot and defenders that will check your pockets if you sleep on them. Well, that wraps it up for me though. Thank you for all the support. Mr. B signing out. Peace.